So he or she is saying that since he or she is not able to be cured by any medical treatment and it is getting more expensive, and apart from getting it getting expensive, there's no surety. There is no surety that he or she can be cured, right? One more logic from the patient, that he or she is nothing but a burden. Keep in the mind, a burden on other stakeholders. Who other stakeholders? His members of family, his family members. What is his logic? He's saying, because of me, everybody is tensed, everybody is in trouble, everybody is concerned, and my family is not able to bear the cost of my treatment of the disease which is not going to be cured. Because of he or she, his or her family is suffering, and other stakeholders are, the future of other stakeholders are at stake, right? There are some youngsters who need better education. There are some kids who need better primary education. There are some other members who need better life. But because of the expenses being done on his treatment of the disease which is not going to be cured, so all the other stakeholders of his family are suffering for no purpose. For no purpose. Purpose is what? This disease cannot be cured. It has medically been declared. So tell me, the logic of the patient is ethical or not? Everyone, logic of the patient is ethical or not? Yes. So everybody is saying it is ethical. Yes, it is very much ethical. It is very much ethical, right? Because for one person who is not going to be cured, you are putting the stake of other stakeholders, you are putting the life of other stakeholders, putting the future of other stakeholders at stake. So this is not ethical. This is not justifiable, right? Clear? And also, money is not somebody else's only possession. Money is to be used for the welfare of everyone. It should not be the exclusive property to somebody else. So he's saying that money is getting wasted also. Apart from the family member's life, which is at a stake due to him or her, money is also wasted. Resources are also basically, I would say that, misused. So his logic is very much ethical. Now, the second condition we are discussing, in which the patient is not able to express his or her view. He is in comma. He or she is in comma. He or she is in comma. So he or she is not able to express his views. But everybody knows, along with the members of his family or her family, apart from the team of doctors, everybody knows that patient is not going to be cured medically at any cost. At any cost. So his family members want a mercy killing or euthanasia for his patient. And he gives a logic that since his patient is not going to be cured, his patient is not going to be cured, so why waste money? Why put the life of other stakeholders at stake? Right? So his logic is ethical or not. Don't think emotionally. Think ethically. His logic is ethical or not? Alka said not. Other students have said ethical. Somebody says unethical. See, it is very much ethical. It is very much ethical. Now we have discussed about two stakeholders, one the patient and second the members of the family. Now we talk about some human right activist, what they say or what our religions say. Now we are taking the notion from the religion, notion from the human right activists. What they say? They say, yeah, Bhavani has said, she has kept in the mind, I have discussed once, it's a trolley dilemma. It's equivalent to the trolley dilemma that I discussed with you one day, right? Okay, now I'm just keeping back to this. So religion says that since every person is a rational agent, he contributed his level best to the society, to his family, to the nation, as long as he or she was alive. As long as he or she was alive. So who has given you right? Who has given you a right to kill that person? Right? Because doctors have declared that this disease can't be cured. But there may be possibility that this person can still contribute to the nation. There have been some such kind of persons. Those came alive out of the condition of brain dead. So we should wait until the patient dies itself, until the patient dies himself or herself. We have to keep waiting, because as long as the patient was alive, he contributed his level best for the upliftment of his family, the society and the nation. Now it is our responsibility, it's our human responsibility, it is our moral responsibility that we have to wait for that person's natural death or pray for his getting revived, getting cured with that particular disease. So he also has his logic. Now we are coming to the side of government. Why government is not making a law? Despite having been advised by the Law Commission of India, the Parliament is not passing this bill. Right? Passing a bill regarding this. Why? Because government is very much very much apprehensive that this may be misused. Because we have already had some cases in which people are getting insurance policies, term insurance policies, life insurance policies in the name of their parents or the grandparents, and they conspire against them, they kill them, and for getting the insurance. Such kind of cases are, though very few nowadays, but such kind of cases are occurring. And it happens because people are corrupt. Even the authorities of insurance companies are also having collusion or nexus with the patient's family. So if we legalize the cases of euthanasia, the chances of its misuse will be higher, right? So we cannot take the risk. To legalize it, because once we legalize it, it must be, the possibility of its being misused is very high. So this is the huge dilemma. It's a huge dilemmatic condition. Euthanasia is one of the cases which leaves a huge dilemma to the government, to the judiciary, to everyone. So from everybody's aspect, be it doctors or government or judiciary or the patient himself or herself or the family of the patient, it seems logical. Their views separately seems logical, hence there is a huge ethical dilemma. Now we talk about the types of euthanasia. So right, the first one is, I'll share the PDF. I'm just discussing. The first is active euthanasia. So active euthanasia is what? Patients are killed by giving some poisons or some other means so that least pain should be beared by the patient. In active euthanasia, there are some arrangements in which doctors ensure that the patient should be killed in a few seconds. It takes very less time, whether by poison or anything else. In some countries, people are even shot. People are even shoot by the guns also. Getting? So active euthanasia, it's like killing. It is almost like killing. Now talk about voluntary euthanasia. Voluntary means the will of the patient, the own will of patient. Patient wants to be killed. This is called voluntary. Non-voluntary. The third one. The patient is not able to speak anything because he or she is in a coma. Then the family of the patient decides. To give mercy killing to the patient. This is called non-voluntary. Involuntary. First active, second voluntary, third non-voluntary, and the fourth one is involuntary. I'll share the PDF, don't pen down. In involuntary, the patient is able to express his views or her views. The patient who is suffering from an incurable disease, he is able to express his or her views, but his or her view is not taken by the doctors. Doctors are doing mercy killing. Medical team is giving mercy killing with the view of the patient's family. So this is also illegal. So all these euthanasia are actually illegal in our country. The PDF I'll share with you, in that I have mentioned that in which country euthanasia is allowed. Getting? In our country, in some cases, rare of the rarest cases, passive euthanasia is allowed. So first of all, understand what is passive euthanasia. In passive euthanasia, patients are kept away from, first of all, what is the passive euthanasia? If the patient's family or the patient is requesting for mercy killing, then the matter goes to the High Court. The High Court basically set up a bench of at least two judges. To hear this case. Once they are confirmed, they take suggestions from the state. They are taking suggestions from the family of the patient. They also take suggestion from the patient if he or she can express his views or her views. The bench of two judges also take views of some human activists, right? Then if they are confirmed, then they decide, and they also take in their panel, there are 2 or 3 doctors, and then they, along with the suggestions of doctors, with the consideration of doctors, they decide whether or not the patient should be given passive euthanasia, right? So it is done under judicial observation, right? Now, what is done in this? The patient is kept away from the life support system, the patient has stopped giving medicines. It means what? Patients are left for granted until they die. So this is very, very, very much painful. Active euthanasia is almost like killing, but it takes very less time. It gives less pain to the least pain to the patient. It gives a lot of pain. For example, if the patients are taken away from the life support system, the patient has been taken away from the life support system, not providing any painkillers, not provided any medicine or any essential things to get him or her rid of pain, right? So it takes a lot of time, and till the death, till the last breath, the patient has to suffer badly, right? So it's very much, I would say, painful. But this is the only thing which is allowed in our country under judicial observation. Clear? So if we talk about ethically, this is also unethical. This is also unethical. So till now, the Supreme Court has said that this system of euthanasia will be allowed in our country until and unless the parliament pass a proper bill about it. Otherwise, it should be carried on with. In rare of the rarest cases, passive euthanasia will be allowed. So euthanasia, I don't think, if you ask me, sir, what is ethical in such a cases, in this case, it's very ethical. I have explained you all the ethical aspects. The problem with our country is that we are a huge population. So the possibility of its being misused is very high. Because people out of greed may get their parents killed, get their grandparents killed. So it will be very, very dangerous. It will be very dangerous. Still, we have some certain cases to get insurance policies, life insurance policies, term insurance policies, benefits. People are getting their elders, or I would say their elderly, killed and get the benefits of insurance policies. Clear? So we have discussed about euthanasia. After the break of 10 minutes, we will discuss about some other issues like LGBTQ rights and some other issues like abortion, pornography, right, and child labor. These things we will discuss after the break of 10 minutes. Some questions are here. Sir, a person is killed by himself by eating poison. This is suicide. No, it's not euthanasia. It's a suicide. It is illegal. What are laws in developed countries? I'll share the PDF. Hashim Ali is asked what are the laws in developed countries. I'll share the PDF. See, in ethics we have all the papers. So if I start discussing each and every aspect of those things, then it will take a lot of time without more benefits, because we'll encroach into some other subject. So we have to understand our boundary, because we are just discussing the ethical aspect of euthanasia. So I'll share the PDF today itself about those things which you must know about euthanasia. Okay. Sai Vishnu Vardhan Reddy has said euthanasia is relevant to intrinsic or instrumental value. That we have said it's very complex issue we have discussed. The only problem with our country that euthanasia, according to me, is a good thing, because the person who is not able to be cured, who has been declared brain dead, he just a burden on himself or on the family. But if you ask any moral person, you know, that the lessons we get in our families, what our family says, no, patient should not be killed at any cost. Morally, we talk about just emotions. Ethically, we talk about, we are trying to make a balance between emotions, between conditions, between emotions, conditions, circumstances, possibilities, future conditions. So we always try to make a balance between all these things when we think ethically. So ethically, mercy killing is not a bad thing in some cases particularly, but again I'm telling you the possibility of its being misused in our country particularly is very high, So I am not in favor of making any, personally I'm not in favor of making any particular rule in favor of euthanasia, right? It should always be it should always be going through the process of judicial hearing, and then let the High Court decides whether the patient should be given euthanasia or not. Okay.